guys have been in love with you, girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody. I'm just sitting here and thinking about the times that we once had. Yeah, some of them were crazy, hey, but some of them were bad. And if they asked me, I'd say I was glad to have known you. So why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay? Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? When I heard that you got married to that old friend of mine, and it didn't take too long for you stepped out of the line. But through the grapevine I heard you doing fine, and it's over. That's why I asked you here today, to see if you could see what I can see. Well, maybe it was always meant that it would end up you and me. Yes, what I'm saying is if you want me, then I'm ready